In a vibrant meadow on the edge of a forest, there lived an ant named Andy and a grasshopper named Greg. Andy was a diligent worker who spent his days tirelessly collecting and storing food for the upcoming winter. He knew that the colder months would be tough, and he wanted to be prepared. On the other hand, Greg was carefree and loved to sing and play his fiddle all day long. He believed in living in the moment and thought that worrying about the future was a waste of time. As summer turned to fall, Andy could be seen carrying grains, seeds and other provisions into his underground storage. The other animals in the meadow often mocked him for working so hard, but Andy paid no heed. He knew the importance of being prepared. Meanwhile, Greg continued to fiddle away, enjoying the warm days and singing songs to his heart's content. He didn't have a care in the world. One chilly day, as the leaves turned gold and the meadow's lushness began to wither, Greg realized he was hungry. He approached Andy's underground storehouse, where he saw a bountiful supply of food. He knocked on the door, asking for some provisions. Andy, who was always polite and kind, opened the door and saw Greg shivering with hunger. He shared some of his stored food without hesitation. "I've been preparing for the winter, but I don't want to see you go hungry," Andy said with a warm smile. Winter arrived with a cold and relentless fury, covering the meadow in snow and ice. Andy, snug in his well-stocked abode, stayed warm and well-fed, but Greg, who had not prepared for the harsh season, suffered bitterly from the cold and hunger. He went back to Andy, his fiddle and carefree spirit replaced by desperation. "I should have listened to you, Andy," Greg said, his voice filled with regret. "I didn't prepare, and now I'm suffering." Andy, although tempted to say, "I told you so," had a kind heart. He shared some of his food with Greg and let him stay in his underground home until the winter passed. As spring arrived and the snow began to melt, Greg learned a valuable lesson about the importance of responsibility and preparation. He thanked Andy for his generosity and promised to change his ways. The moral of the story is clear. It's wise to plan for the future and be responsible, just like Andy the ant. Preparing for tough times can make life easier when challenges arise. It's also important to help those in need when you can, as Andy did, even if they didn't prepare like Greg. By learning from his mistakes, Greg discovered the importance of balancing fun with responsibility, ensuring a brighter future for himself and the friendship he had with Andy.